Yeah. Good morning to all. Myself, Dr. M. Shanmugam, Assistant Regional Director, IGNOR Regional Center, Bangalore. Today, we called for the counseling session on project report of PGDAB program for all the learners to give the guidance. In this meeting, Dr. Praveen Kumar Jain, Director and Program Coordinator, School of Agriculture, IGNOR New Delhi, joined to deliver the session. On behalf of Regional Center Bangalore, Regional Director, I welcome you, sir, for this meeting. I also welcome our Dr. Radha Madam, Senior Regional Director, IGNO Regional Center Bangalore, to coordinating this program along with the School of Agriculture Science to not to give the guidance to the students. Madam, on behalf of Regional Center Bangalore, I heartily welcome you to this meeting. I also welcome my colleague Dr. Yama Malini, Assistant Regional Director, IGNO Regional Center Bangalore, for this meeting, for this counseling session. I also welcome all the participants across the regional center of country to participating this meeting on behalf of Regional Center Bangalore, on behalf of the School of Agriculture Science, IGNO New Delhi. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now I request Dr. Radha Madam, Senior Regional Director, to say a few words to commence before the program. Then the subject expert will take the session. Over to Dr. Radha Madam.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to you all. And as per Regional Service Division, IGNO New Delhi instructions, RC Bangalore is nominated as a nodal RC for conducting the counseling sessions for PGDAB learners. So as a part of that, the Regional Center Bangalore has arranged all the counselors and also conducted the sessions so far at 22 online centralized counseling session nationwide students. So all the students admitted to the university are invited for this. And it is really a privilege, I can say, that the program coordinator, Professor Praveen Jain sir, he has taken initiation, and this project guidelines program, sir only conducted the session. Initially, when we started also, he has conducted, and now the ending session also taken care of by Professor Praveen Jain. Sir, really we are thankful for all the cooperation conducting to complete this session so nicely and successfully, sir. And it is now my responsibility to introduce our speaker to all the audience. And just now I came to know that January 2023 students also joined today. But anyhow, we are going to invite January 2022 students separately because as we are the nodal LSCs, we may need to invite all the nationwide students. So January 2023 students, kindly listen the session, and all of the doubts will be clarified again. But this session particularly meant for July 2022 cycle students, as they are going to appear their examination also shortly. So I request all the students, please listen carefully the session delivering by these resource persons, and the introduction will provide that time. You may ask by that time. Kindly mute your audio and listen carefully. Make a note of the guidelines provided by the Professor Praveen Jain sir. And Professor Praveen Jain is Director of School of Agriculture, IGNO New Delhi. And Dr. Praveen Jain is coordinating the PG certificate in agriculture policy, PG diploma in plantation management, and PhD in agriculture extension program certificate. He has written 9 units of various courses and involved in editing of 18 courses and facilitated development of 4 video programs, 2 audio programs, 7 teleconferencing based video programs. He has developed and offered a massive open online courses entitled Indian Agriculture Development through SWAYAM platform. He has implemented ICR NEIP sponsored research project, innovations in technology, mediated learning, and institutional capacity building in reusable learning of technology in agro horticulture. As a principal investigator, he has conducted 2 need assessment studies on open and distance learning programs in agriculture and organized 10 workshops and curriculum meetings. He has conducted 3 training programs for farmers, rural youth, and extension functionaries in the area of agriculture marketing, finance, and risk management in the Northeast region, and 2 8 days training program for extension of officials of state agriculture departments. He has organized one international conference, Agriculture Education and Knowledge Management, as a co-organizing secretary, and one regional conference on food security and sustainable agriculture development as organizing secretary. He has participated in 2 international training programs at USA and Canada on reusable learning objects, technology, and their NEIP project. He has participated in 21 seminars, conferences, workshops. He is coordinating development of masters in agribusiness management program. His area of interest include agribusiness management, agricultural policy, open distance learning, agriculture marketing, agriculture extension, and online learning. Sir, it is a privilege to have you as a resource person for this session, and sure that our learners will get a clear understanding about this program. And I'm also glad to share that all the digital study minutes of all these sessions are also available to the students in e-Gnanakosh and also Swayamprabha channels. You may kindly utilize the e-resources available to prepare your assignments and to complete your program successfully. Thank you, sir. Now, may I request you to kindly deliver the session, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Respected Dr. S. Radha, Senior Regional Director, Bangalore, Dr. Semungam, and Dr. Hema from the RC Bangalore, and all the learners. I welcome you all in this session. And first of all, I want to thank you, Regional Center Bangalore, for conducting the counseling session, for arranging the counseling session for these programs. And you have very effectively organized the counseling session. That is the best part. You have taken all the pain and efforts, and learners must have benefited from the counseling session, because counseling session is the very important component when we develop the when we deliver the curriculum in IGNO's styles of offering the content. And so that's why this program is having 8 courses, PG diploma in agribusiness. There are 8 courses, and project is one of the very important components. Project is a compulsory component of the programs, and there are always query about the project. So that's why uh, in this session, basically, we will be discussing the project work, how to how to undertake the project activities. So let me share the presentation. Just a minute. Are you able to see the PPT?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay, right. Very simple. Okay. So, these are the 8 courses we have in the program. Program is of 32 credits. Uh, the last course is the project work. That is the MAMP 058. Are you able to see the PPT?
Sir,
Sir,
it
it
is
is blinking.
It is
Yes, sir. It's coming,
sir,
but it's
blinking.
yes,
just
sir. Yes.
again reshare the just a minute, please. So, there are 8 courses total, and out of 8, 7 courses are the theory courses. One is the project work. Okay. So you might have downloaded the soft copy of the project guidelines, which is available on the eGyan course platform, and this is the actually link given. So all the guidelines for the for undertaking the project work is available in the IGNOU eGyan course platform. Okay, so I hope all of you have downloaded this project guideline. Link is the egyancourse.ac.in. This is the link is there for this project guidelines, and you can download, because project guideline provide the complete guidelines how to prepare the how to undertake the project work. So project basically, when you undertake the project, when you plan the project, two things are required. One is the topic of research that you have to undertake, another is the guide, supervisor under which you have to undertake the activity. Okay, so there is also, I think, blinking is there. Just a minute.
Yes, sir.
I think you can see this. Okay, are you able to see the PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just okay. So the project is a compulsory course. You have to undertake this course, very importantly, because without completing the project works, all if you have passed all the courses and you have not completed the project work, you will be not awarded the diploma. Okay, so this is the compulsory course, and it is basically practical activity course. You have to take some activity, you have to plan some activity in the field, and you have to take the small research. That is the basically basic idea about the. So this course basically provide a field orientation to the students. uh, the 7 courses, they are the basically theory courses. However, we have included various activities in the courses, but this course is particularly targeted to give some field based orientation to the students. So objective of this project work is to develop an ability to apply multidisciplinary concept, tools and techniques. Okay, so you have to comprehend the multidisciplinary concept while undertaking activities. You have to use the statistics, you have to use the research sampling techniques, or you have to think about the areas like horticultural crops, the agro processing units. So in this activity, you have to plan a multidisciplinary idea or multidisciplinary concept we have to use here in the project work. And the another objective of this project work is to find out or analyze the various issues which are related to agribusiness, or which are related to agriculture sectors, or related to agriculture marketing, or related to agriculture financing, and also to find out some solutions to the problems of agriculture sector or agribusiness. So that is the basic idea. So after completing of this course, you have a little bit ideas how to frame a problems, how to identify a problem, and how to resolve for a solution, how to reach to the solution. So that process can be understood after taking the project activities. Okay, the selection of topic is the most important activity. Are you able to see the slide selection of topic? This PPT visible to you?
Sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. It will be.
So, you know, for taking a project activities, project work, you have to first identify a topic, and this topic should be related to agribusiness aspect, or agribusiness related concept should be there in the topic of project work. So, and the students are given the freedom to choose the topics based on his or her choice. Where in which areas the student want to work in the future or in the present. Student can select the topic on livestock related problems, or they can choose the topic on agriculture marketing, they can choose the topic on the agriculture finance, or they can choose a topic on farmers producers organization, or they can choose a topic on successful self-help group. So students are given it, they can choose the topic of their own choice, though while selecting the topics, while finalizing the topic, this topic should be definitive, a communicating the information which research on the topic, research you want to conduct. So the topic should be written in such a manner it give a comprehensive meaning of the whole work what you are doing. So like to study the problems of agriculture marketing channel, so the topic is giving a communication that the topic is related to the agriculture marketing channels, and objective is to find the problems in agriculture marketing channel. Like that, you have to, that topic should be a communicating, and and it should convey the subject matter on which area you want to work. So here for the guidance purpose, or you can choose the topic as well. We have given around 50-60 topics in the project guidelines. So when you can go through that guidelines, and you can go through the topics which are available in the project guideline, that give you some ideas what type of topics you can choose for your research. Okay. So selecting the topics from that given list is not compulsory. You can choose from that list, as well as you can frame the topics based on your choice. So what type of research you can include in the the your project activity. You can do a small research which are related to the agribusiness. You can do a comprehensive case studies, where you can cover a single organizations, a particular cooperative, or particular bank, or particular agro processing industries, or you can choose a multifunctional areas, the various areas, or while selecting a single organization, you can choose the marketing aspect, financial aspect, human behavioral aspect. So all these areas you can choose. You can have a, you can create the problems. You can form a problems based on the case study. You can analyze that case, or you can, based on that, you can recommend something for the betterment of that particular area. Or you can choose a field studies or empirical studies, where even you can do some trials, or you can do some socioeconomic field trials, related to marketing or economics, that, or you can explore some government policies, schemes, or their implementation related issues. You can choose, these are the some of the areas from where you can choose a topic. So selection of guide is the most important thing. So if your topic is required, then guide is also very important, under which supervision you have to complete the your project activities. So for that purpose, as a students or as a learners, you have to identify that research supervisor or a guide, and for that purpose, you have to contact a person who has the experience in that field or area, which is and the person should also be interested in guiding you as a research supervisor. So for we have finalized the eligibility criteria to become a research supervisor. It is a faculty in the School of Agriculture or other relevant discipline at the headquarters of IGNOU. The approved counselor of agribusiness programs or other similar programs having 5 years of teaching experience. So all the academic counselors of this program is also eligible to become a research supervisor for your project work activities. So, or anybody who is even not a counselors of the programs, who is not a the faculty of School of Agriculture or IGNOU, any professionals which are which is the master degree in agriculture, MSc in agriculture, or MBA agribusiness, or dairy technology, or any allied disciplines with a minimum 5 years of experience in the relevant area. So any professionals, who has the master degrees and who in the agriculture, agribusiness, or in the business management areas, and who who can become a guide or for you as a research supervisors. Okay, so you, as a students, you have to contact any persons who are working in the state department or in agriculture university or in the colleges or in even in the private companies who is working at a as a managerial position, and who has the minimum 5 years of experience, so who can guide you. You feel that this person is suitable to me, who can guide me, who can help me in preparing my research proposal or in preparing the research report. You can choose, and so uh, your direct relatives, as of the direct relatives of the students are not permitted to become a research supervisors, and there are small honorarium which is provided to the research supervisor or guide who help the students in completing the project activity. So in the project activity, there are two components. One is the project synopsis or project proposal, or another is the project report. Or so there are two components. One is first you have to prepare the synopsis, or we also call that synopsis is a project proposal. After approval of that, synopsis, or proposal, you have to undertake the project report. You have to conduct the small research. So major problems while evaluating the proposal or synopsis, I found that the students are writing in such a manner that they have already completed the project activity. While submitting the project synopsis, you are submitting a plan of work. It is, project synopsis is basically a plan of work. After approval of that synopsis, you have to take the research after approval of the synopsis. But what is happening, I think students are copying from some old, report or some old project, and they are simply copying and paste the details. So, like while writing the research methodology, you have to write that I will be selecting the 50 farmers from this much villages. I will be selecting, Oh, but in the synopsis you are writing, I have selected 50 farmers, and collected the data. Data collection will start after your synopsis is approved by the concerned department or concerned regional center. Okay, but students are writing in such a manner, so it gives the impression that students already have completed their project activity, and they are just copying the synopsis, and they are putting the word, they are submitting the synopsis for the approval. So you know actual work will be undertaken after your synopsis is approved by the concerned regional centers. Okay, so this is the major problems I found while evaluating the of the synopsis. Okay, so in the project synopsis, you have to write the topic, rationale, why you have selected the topic, objective of the research, objective of your project work, research methodology. You have to mention how many, what type of the data we will be collecting, what type of the how much sample we will be collecting the data. So then there are few old um, review literature or studies you can mention, and what will be the outcome of your research, that you have to mention in the project synopsis, and then submit the synopsis at your regional centers for its approval. So all the students, they are under some regional centers of IGNOU. Some are under Bangalore, some are under Patna, some are under Jaipur, some are under Cochin. So you have to submit your synopsis at your regional centers, So that is the then after completing this project synopsis activities, you have to undertake the research actually. Your actual activity, your actual project activity start when synopsis is approved and that is communicated to you, and then you have to start your research activities, or you have to start your case research. Okay. So in the project report as well, there are important part is there, like you have to prepare the introduction objectives, you have to give review literature, you have to mention the research methodology, what you have followed in the uh, in the research activities. You know there you have to mention result and discussion. What is the result and discussion? Basically is the result of, or the outcome of your activities or research activity you have done, that you have to mention. Then you have to prepare the summary and conclusion. You have to also give the bibliography, means references, which from where some research studies you have referred while conducting the research. And again, you have to submit this project activity at the respective regional centers, and then evaluation of project report will be taken at the regional center level. So in the synopsis, uh, what you have to do, you have to first you identify the guide, and and then you have to discuss with the guide, and you have to finalize the topic. That is the first task you have to do. So all these things you have to do in consultation with the guide, research supervisors, and introduction, rational objective research material, research limitation that you have to mention. You have to submit your synopsis at the regional centers. Regional center will undertake the evaluation of the synopsis, and after evaluation of synopsis, and the regional center will communicate you the approval of the synopsis or not approval of the synopsis, the both are possible. So while writing the objectives of in the synopsis, you have to be very careful, because uh, the how you are writing the objectives, it give the impression how what type of the research or you are doing. So objectives should be the very clearly or precisely mentioned in the the and uh, objectives basically what you will be able to know or achieve at the end of study, that you have to mention. And it should be stated in the behavioral term. Behavioral terms means it should be in the action terms. So you cannot write the after doing this I will be able to know the marketing problem. Able to know marketing problem nahi. You have to write that I will identify the marketing problem. Identify means you can repeat that, you can write that. So that no, instead of no, uh, you have to write I will be able to identify, identify the marketing problems related to tomato crops in a particular district. So like that. So it should be basically expressed in the neutral meanings. Neutral meanings, sometimes we have in our mind that there are some problems is there in the particular area. So but as a research study or as a research school, our duty is to find the actual problems. So whatever we have in our mind, we should not mention in the research. It should be the whatever results which are coming in the our project report. It should be based on the research we are doing, not whatever we have in our mind. They should be reflected. So the example of the objective of the studies, how we can start to study the financial performance, to explore the marketing problems, to analyze the factor affecting the consumer buying behavior, to investigate the influence of farmers group on the economy of farmers. So like the very specific objective you have to mention while writing the objective of the research methodology. Again, device here you have to identify, you have to prepare a a very precisely, very clearly identified research methodology you have to give in the project synopsis, so that you can achieve the set objective of the study. So you have to identify the research design, nature and source of data or information to be collected, whether the information or data will be primary or secondary natures, you have to mention. Then sample and sampling techniques, whether you will be following the simple random sampling, what will be the size of the sample that you have to mention. Method of data collections, whether you will be conducting the personal interviews or you will be sending the questionnaires, or whether you will be collecting the data through the group discussions. All this has to be mentioned, and the period of the data you has to be also mentioned, because like in the secondary data, whether you are collecting data from 2001 to 2022 or to 2001 to 2020, so that period should be mentioned. And in the research methodology, you have to very clearly mention the tools and techniques for data analysis, whether you will be conducting some mean analysis or correlation analysis, or the regression analysis. So statistical tools can be also be mentioned in the synopsis. Okay. Then submission of synopsis. After preparing the synopsis, you have to prepare the proposal performa. So there, that the proposal performa is available in the project guidelines. You can find out that one, and that has to be duly signed by the student as well as your guide. Okay, with dates. So you have to mention the date as well. So in the while submitting the synopsis, you have to give the biodata of the guide. So her qualifications, educational qualification, project work experience, and the project proposal performa. That is one copy of the synopsis and biodata of the guide has to be submitted at the regional centers to the regional directors for its evaluation. So there are three parts. Project proposal performa is there. One copy of the synopsis, synopsis having the introduction, rational, objective, research methodology, the possible outcomes, or even the limitation of your research, that can be mentioned, in the synopsis, and biodata of the guide. These three things are required while submitting the synopsis. Okay, and it should be submitted to the regional director of the concerned. Then evaluation of the synopsis is this is done at the regional center levels. You can you can submit your synopsis at any time. You can submit the synopsis throughout the year, but it is advised that at least in the middle of the year you submit your synopsis, because in the process of synopsis will take 2 to 3 months. Okay, so the project proposal, which are completed in all aspects, will be considered for the evaluation. Suppose you have submitted the synopsis, but biodata of your guide is not there, it will be not considered for the evaluations. Okay. Suppose you have mentioned the all details are there, but what I found in one synopsis, the title mentioned in the proposal approval performa is different. The title which is given on the cover of the synopsis. So sometimes there are mismatch in the title as well. So it should be checked properly, and the regional center will communicate you to the approval and non-approval of the project proposal, as well as the regional center will also communicate about the approval and non-approval of the project guide, because the while evaluating the synopsis, the evaluators see the two things. One is the synopsis, another is the qualification of the project guide. Okay, that is also very much seen by the evaluators. So be careful while selecting the guides, and your guide qualifications should match with the desired qualification to become the project's supervisor. Okay, then come to the project report part. This is the 4 credit activities. So you can prepare about 40 to 60 double space typed pages. So around 18,000 words. And in the project report, we should have the project the we should have the cover page. So cover page should have the name and enrollment of the student, name of the guide, and title of the project should be there on the cover of the project report. And then you have to prepare the detailed table of the content, introduction chapter, the review literature chapter, then the research methodology chapter, then result and discussion. Then in the project report, you have to also attach the approved proposals or approved synopsis. So that is also very much required while submitting the project report. And then you have to submit the certificate of originality. Means you have not copied somewhere else, and you have prepared the new, you have undertaken the new work. And then there are chapterization plan. So in the chapterization of the project report, there should be introductions. In the introduction section, you can prepare the rationale, statement of the problem, objective of this project, scope of the study. Okay. Then research methodology, research design, whether it is exploratory research studies or is case studies. So you have to mention whether it is a field research. So you have to mention then nature and source of the data, and the information collected, sample and sampling methods. All this has to be mentioned in the research methodology chapter. Then is results and discussion. This is the third chapter, and here you can prepare the the this chapter into, or you can divide this chapter into subsection based on the objectives. Suppose you have identified two objectives, so you can prepare the 3.1, 3.2, like that. You can prepare the subsection here. Then summary and conclusion you have to prepare, and then recommendations based on your studies. You can, the limitation of project you can give, or direction for further research you can give. Then in the end, you have to give the references, whatever the studies or references you used for your study, you have to mention there. In the last, you can give the annexure or appendix. Suppose you have collected the primary data from the field, so the questionnaire prepared or input schedule you have prepared, that you have to give at the end as an annexure or appendix in the project report. Okay. Then submission of the project report, and here again one copy of the project report, typed copy of the project report, is to be submitted at the regional centers. It has to be submitted at the regional centers, and the regional center will allocate a project report number to you. And uh, the project report can be submitted anytime through in the year, or it can be submitted throughout the years. A query regarding the approval of the project proposal and its project report should be addressed to the regional director of your regional center. So all the information, whether my proposal or my synopsis has been approved or project report has been evaluated, you have to inquire from the regional centers. Okay. And this is the, I think, some of last, so some important points, while preparing the project proposal, project synopsis. Send only one copy of the project proposal and retain a copy with you, because sometimes it may some it is not available in the regional center, or mostly while in the sending. Also, at least you retain a copy of the project proposal with you. And MAMP058 is the code for this course project report. So MAMP, you should always write very prominently this code, and send your synopsis to the regional centers. Then while submitting the synopsis, you ensure the inclusion of the following: pro forma for approval of the project proposals, and which is to be duly signed by the your student, as well by your guide, and detailed biodata of the guide, duly signed by him. The biodata is required, that is very much compulsory. And it's a project proposal must have all the components, the There are three important things: one, the project proposal, approval pro forma, biodata, and synopsis. So all three components must be there. Similarly, for uh, project work, project report, the project report should be the original. It is the work done by you, not copied from others. It should be prepared in the A4 size, pages, typed in double space or in a bound volume. You have to submit the project report, and this report should be submitted or should be addressed to the regional director of your regional centers. Before binding the project report, the student should ensure all component and performance. Otherwise, the same will be written to the student for compliance. Mention on the top of the envelope project report MAMP 058. Okay, and students should keep a copy of the project report with them, and a copy of the project report uh, should be kept by all the learners, so that in some mishappening or something happen, so you can resubmit the project report. Okay, so this is all, and in the last, this is the certificate of originality. All the project report must contain this certificate. This is to certify that the project title this and is an original work of the student, is being submitted in partial full. This performa is available in the project guidelines which is given, so you must submit, and it should be done by the student as well as by your guide. Okay, so now we can start the discussion. Okay, so
Sir, and I would like to inform that
mhm,
13 students of July 2022 session of under RC Bangalore,
mhm.
only 2 students submitted synopsis so far.
Okay.
So we have received it.
Mhm,
So at May 31st last date, no, sir. We
mhm.
are waiting to send for the evaluation.
Okay. So all the students are requested to prepare the synopsis as soon as possible, because
To the respective religious centers. To the
at the respective regional centers. No need to, you can, if suppose you are a student of Cochin regional centers, you have to submit your synopsis at the Cochin. Suppose you are a student of the Jaipur regional center, you have to submit your synopsis and project report at the Jaipur, not to Bangalore. Okay.
Sir, one question. Sir,
Uh-huh.
I go to regional center. They said synopsis are submitted in Delhi.
No, no. I know if they are refusing, you just write an email to us. We will communicate to them.
Okay, sir. They said to me ki here counselor not here, so
No, no.
you submitted that.
We will talk to the regional centers. You send an email to us with a copy to the concerned regional centers. So we will inform how to evaluate.
Sir,
Okay.
sir, synopsis submitted by post or by hand?
Both the way. Both the way you can do.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
हेलो सर।
Yes, Simrat.
सर मैं जून 22 की इनरोल हूँ और मैंने
Mm-hmm.
प्रोजेक्ट वर्क के लिए जैसे एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटीज में कांटेक्ट किया तो वो ये जानना चाह रहे थे कि इग्नू का एमओयू जिन यूनिवर्सिटीज के साथ है कि सिर्फ आप वहीं से प्रोजेक्ट वर्क कर सकते हो, तो मैंने
नहीं, नहीं,
आपको
ऐसा कोई
बताया था।
ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है।
अच्छा,
एमओयू
तो
होना
जैसे
कोई जरूरी
मेरे
नहीं है इसके लिए। और आप
मेरे
सिंपली जो उनके क्वालिफिकेशन देख लीजिए, वो एमएससी है और 5 इयर्स का उनके एक्सपीरियंस है। तो उनका एक ब्रीफ बायोडाटा का परफॉर्मा अवेलेबल है प्रोजेक्ट गाइडलाइन में, उसमें बायोडाटा बनाकर सबमिट कर सकते हैं।
और बॉटनी वालों के अंडर में किया जा सकता है क्या?
बोटनी वालों का अंडर में इसलिए नहीं किया जा सकता कि उनको एग्री बिजनेस का एक्सपीरियंस नहीं होगा, सो इसलिए उनको नहीं किया।
नहीं, जैसे
अगर उनको कोई एग्री बिजनेस का एक्सपीरियंस है तो देन कर सकते हैं।
और सर मेरा जैसे प्रोजेक्ट वर्क लेट हो गया है तो मैं नेक्स्ट दिसंबर ऑनवर्ड एग्जामिनेशन और प्रोजेक्ट वर्क के लिए सोच रही थी, वो पॉसिबल? हेलो,
थोड़ा चलने वाला।
Sir, your mic is off.
Who's asking? Miss,
सर मैं ये बोल रही थी कि
one by one, please. Okay.
सर मैं ये पूछ रही थी कि मेरा
हाँ।
प्रोजेक्ट वर्क जैसे डिले हो गया है तो मैं नेक्स्ट दिसंबर ऑनवर्ड्स तक कर सकती हूँ अपना कोर्स पूरा?
हाँ, आपको यू आर प्रोवाइडेड मैक्सिमम 3 years, ओके।
ओके।
सो आप कभी भी सबमिट कर सकते हैं, ऐसा कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन बेटर है आप जितना जल्दी हो उतना कर दीजिए।
ठीक है।
Sir, one question more, sir. Sir,
हम्म,
I am working in a sugar industry, sir. So if I choose the topic of sugar industry, that is okay, sir.
वेरी मच ओके,
अच्छा
नो
sir,
प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल।
one question, sir. Guide, I also choose the manager quality control.